My head's starting to, bob up and down. I'm sinking a little bit. Really trying to, signal to the lifeguard here.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now this is a little bit of interesting video, and we here at the Nexans, so it's trying to understand all the aspects of Dark, and there are some confusing part to say the least. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna go back and do a bit of a recap on season 1 so that we can enjoy season 2 a little bit better, and we'll just go over all the characters, all the interactions that they had, not all, the highlights of the interactions, things that will help us remember what happened in season 1. Yeah, we'll go on from there. Akash, you want to add anything to that?
No, yeah. This was mainly, I think this was highlighted as a need because I don't think Sajid was really struggling because he's already watched the whole show and just in general. But yeah, I'm definitely struggling to keep up. Really, right now we're on episode. We just finished episode 3. We just recorded that, so. Yeah, and I definitely feel like myself sinking. I'm like, oh fuck, who's that? Oh wait, where did they go?
Yeah.
So this one is just going to be a recap of season 1, like Sujit said. So I'm going to definitely try my hardest not to spoil something. But god damn it, that's going to be hard. Because in my mind, I'm just like, oh yeah, that thing that happened in episode 3. I know more about this.
Yeah, and I would also consider this like if someone else is also struggling out there with that one. I hope this also helps them also be on the same page as the end of season 1. So we'll just put this as like a recap for season 1 of Dark. And yeah, we'll just go on from there.
The website, like the URL, is dark.netflix.io. And it is fucking insane. One of the commenters suggested it. And it is amazing. Like you can specify every, like which episode you're on, which season, and then break down not only a timeline, but like who is in it, who's related to what, and everything.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Who, what, when, families, and everything. Yeah. So, fantastically made website. Go to the episode. So, we're just doing the entire season 1. So, we'll select episode number 10. Finale. Let's start with Michael. Michael is the one who hangs himself in the attic. That's where the story starts. He's writing some kind of letter. Basically says, do not open until November 4th, 10:13 p.m. Day when this happens is June 21st when he dies in 2019.
The interesting thing is that we still don't know at the end of season 1 why he killed himself. Like I don't know if we're going to find out because I haven't actually watched anything, but we don't really know why he killed himself. He could have just gotten tired, but I found that part very interesting. Yeah.
Yep, that story is not yet explored, and it's not even explored to the time when we have watched it. Like
that's true. And additionally, it's also interesting why he specified that time.
Oh, yeah, because that's when he disappears, when he was a kid, after 10:13 in the forest.
Look at that. Already found out something new. Nice.
Yeah. So at around 10:13, 10:15 years, I think when they report him as missing in police file or something, and that's why they're like, do not open because I'm still there. I still exist. And someone could still stop the events from happening at that particular point, I guess.
Also, one more thing I just realized, we don't know how the fuck Mikkel got through to the other, like when he teleported or when he went back in time, did he go through that door? Because it seems insane that he went through that door like on his own account or on his own accord. I don't know the phrase. But because he's a smart kid and he was like, wait, I never went through this tiny fucking hole and the door that I have to open. Why would he go through it? I don't get it. So that one, I don't know why he did that.
Yeah, I mean, there are lots of possibilities around that particular situation. I would imagine like one particular situation. I think this is also something that is mentioned by one of our prolific commentators, Michael. He mentions that it's possible that the cave is not just a tunnel. Yeah, obviously with tunnel, you have very specific destinations. You can go left or right to go to different points in time. But tunnel probably has other hot spots that just makes you go, That is one possibility. The other possibility that I thought of originally was what happened was that there was a sound, Jonas went one way, Mikkel, when he fell down or whatever, he ran the other way. And just because he was afraid, he thought sound was coming from within the jungle, so he went in the cave just to, just because he was afraid.
Right.
And as he was hiding in different spots in the cave, since the sound was still a thing, he probably found the door is just like, this is a good place to hide, and he just probably went in.
That's a good point. Good place to hide. That's true. I can believe that. Hilariously enough, I can never think of a situation where I was scared and I heard a giant noise. Well, no matter where it came from, I am not going into the dark cave. I'm not that brave. Or I guess on the flip side, dumb. But we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Exactly. So definitely a lot of possibility on what happened or how it happened with Mikkel or Michael. And like you mentioned, we still don't know why he killed himself once he got to that particular age. So we'll probably explore that storyline in the future. So Mikkel goes back to back in time in episode 1, grows up to be Michael, who marries Hannah.
Yeah.
And from Michael and Hannah comes Jonas. When Mikkel goes back in the past, he's taken care by Ines Conwald.
Question.
Yeah.
What is this tree? Why is it like Jonas, Hannah, and then Mikkel? Mikkel is the dad of Jonas.
Yeah, exactly. So Mikkel and Hannah, they branch off to create Jonas.
Okay, I see it. I see it. It's just a little funky, I guess. It's not like the usual structure. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Makes sense.
Rotate it a little bit.
Okay.
Just because of the complexity of the tree, probably this made sense a lot more.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair.
Yeah, because there are other places where this is handled correctly.
That's fair. No, that's totally fair. Yeah.
So Mikkel, he grew up with Ines in the past that we know. Yeah. Daniel, I don't know if you even remember Daniel Conwald, because he doesn't have a lot of roles. He is mostly there in 1953 scenes when he's talking to Egon. He has like a supervising police officer.
Right.
That's Daniel Conwald, who is supervising Egon in the past, 1953. So that is Ines's dad, but it's not that prominent of a character. And talking about Mikkel, he has 2 siblings, Martha, right, and Magnus. Martha, Magnus, and Mikkel looks like Ulrich and Catherine had a thing about names starting with M. So Magnus, Martha, and Mikkel, those are 3 folks. Now, since Martha and Mikkel are siblings, and he grows up to become Jonas's dad, when these 2 are kissing, means they are related, just with one line right here. Just goes in the same tree.
That's true.
So we already know about Ulrich and Katharina. They are prominent characters in season 1. Ulrich had a brother named Mads. We don't see him. We have Jana and Tronta. They are parents of Ulrich. We have already seen 3 versions of Tronta. I think in episode number 3, he goes on to meet with Claudia, the middle-aged Tronta, because him and Claudia had an affair. But we'll go over Claudia's situation in just a bit.
Can we go over Herman Albers really quick? I actually don't remember him as much. I don't remember him being Katarina's dad at all. So
yeah, it is not mentioned directly. It's just something that we have to infer. So does not mention this.
Yeah. Can we dive into this character really quick? Click on it and see.
So this character we see Egon talking to this guy when he had 33 ships who died.
Oh yeah! Oh yes! Yeah.
That's the guy. Yeah.
Interesting.
And when he's creating I can't click on the character, by the way, because there isn't anything else to add.
It's so funny. Okay.
But when Egon is writing the report, he 33 dead sheep and Herman Albers. I think we also wrote a note. Herman Albers. Yeah. And we find out Katharina's last name is Albers, so that is how we connect the 2 together.
Ooh, gotcha. Okay, cool. On to the Nielsen's. They're interesting then. They're more interesting.
Yeah. Like I said, 3 versions of Tronta. We travel back to 1953, where we see young Tronta comes into town with his mother, Agnes.
Agnes, yeah.
Yeah, so Agnes comes into town with very young Tronta.
Right.
That Ulrich meets young Tronta just so that we can get... So this guy right here, we see him in episode number 3. This is the middle version. Oh,
yes,
Tronta.
That's true. He was like, hey, you wanna hook up and something? Or,
exactly.
Oh, no. Yeah, I think it was that.
And this is the young Tronta.
Right.
And the old Tronta, we've seen that already. So you get this part of the tree, right? So this is all explained.
Yeah. I feel like Jana, we don't know too much about yet, or really, I don't know. Tronta is so weird because he has such a, like, being one of the people who knew what's going on, I don't fucking remember anything about him doing anything significant. He was just, at the beginning, I remember he was, like, washing blood off the stuff, and I understand why. Right? We learned that, he was told by Claudia, right, to put it in their place.
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? Like, I would imagine at some point Jana found out Tronta had an affair with Claudia. I think it is also mentioned, if I remember correctly.
He did have some affair, yeah.
And I think Jana mentions that to someone.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, that she knew about that affair that happened.
With Ulrich, right? Doesn't she mention it to Ulrich? Right?
Yeah, probably.
She was like, I didn't mention it in the interview because your dad was...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sleeping with that witch or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what she says. And yeah, so that happens. And so that is why I think the first couple of episodes, he was acting very weird. Yeah. Because we later learn in the episode that Claudia came to explain him and Peter after Mads falls down from that portal. Yeah. Claudia comes in and explains shit. And then if he tells Jana, it's like, oh, you know what? Claudia came by. Talked about Matt's dead body and so on. Right. She's probably not going to be happy about that.
So you're saying that they weren't really having, or you're saying he lied about having a affair, even though they did before, but not during the marriage. You're saying he lied about it so that he...
Yeah, he was probably just hiding the fact that he didn't want to deal with that situation again. And it is much more easier. Like, a lot of people just will apply Occam's razor. Like, what is a bigger possibility? That you were there, Matt's dead body fell out of a fucking portal, and Claudia just happened to show up to explain you all this shit, or you just you're just there cheating with me again with Claudia.
Yeah. That's it. Sebastian Kruger, we just saw him driving the car. I'm not too worried about him.
So first Hannah, when she was young. This guy also, I cannot click anything because, like you mentioned, there isn't much about the guy.
He's a nice guy, yeah.
Yeah, when Hannah was young, she mentions him that Ulrich raped Katerina when they were in the truck.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably his most prominent part of the entire show.
Yeah. He's like a nice dad, to be honest. Like, take care of his daughter, listen to her and stuff.
Yep,
pretty solid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we have this particular connection. I think that is the entire tree that is separate from everything else.
Nice. Okay.
That's here, right?
Yeah, nice.
So we go to another tree here, a smaller tree. We can probably also go over this very, very quickly here.
Yep.
We have Charlotte, who is investigating all the murders. She is the chief of police, doing all the investigation.
Yeah.
Married to Peter, who seems to be hiding a bunch of shit. Charlotte is extremely mad with Peter, who has potential affair, and Charlotte is probably thinking that that's exactly what he was doing all that time when he's hiding things, and he's like, I need to tell you something. He's like, fucking that shit again. That's probably what she was thinking, and that is why she was probably not very good with like that explanation.
Yep.
And they have 2 daughters, Francesca and Elizabeth. Elizabeth is someone who can't speak, so she's using sign languages and so on. Her boyfriend was Yasin, who disappears. Yeah, so he disappears, one of the dead boys that we find in 1953. Yasin, the other one being the one introduced in the first episode, Eric.
Right.
Is what we find. So we have these 2 characters, Francesca and Magnus, are a thing.
I just realized, did Francesca, when they were doing it in the middle of a school day, which I still don't know how the fuck that happened, but whatever, when they did that, Were they doing it in the same place that Hannah
Ulrich?
saw Ulrich? Yep. Yeah. That's crazy. Interesting. Yeah. Oh. Okay,
maybe it is a known place. Like, don't go to this room without knocking because people are always having sex in here.
Oh, wow. That's, what the hell? That was the locker room. Oh, whatever. Okay. Peter. Yeah, this is an interesting one right here. Charlotte is related to Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Peter's grandpa is Helge. And we got Greta. Yeah, nice. Okay, this is an interesting one.
Yeah, I'm also a little bit confused about this one, actually. Let me go read in here what's going on. I don't know if it is important. He was the psychiatrist for Jonas in episode 1, talking to him.
Oh, yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
2 daughters, Francesca, Elizabeth, his father, Helge, right? Because earlier you mentioned Helge is his grandfather.
Oh, he did? Oh, sorry. Oh, my bad. Oh, I didn't mean to say that. Yeah, no worries. No worries. No doubt about that, yeah. So, okay, Peter's here. And where's Tronta? Can we highlight where Tronta is?
Yeah, Tronta.
Okay, so Tronta's here. I'm just so curious, like, how do we... So, Tronta's a part of, the Nielsen family.
Yep.
Who is really... Yeah, so he's just a part of a totally different family, the Dopplers. Okay, I just wanted to highlight that in my mind. I'm trying to make, like, a mind map of all the families. Okay, gotcha. No, yeah, I guess I just wanted to know, like, okay, Peter is kind of in the generation of the parents, like, same one as Ulrich, same one as Michael, okay? Yep. And then the last generation, the previous generation, Tronta and his wife, and Helge, that's where Peter is also, he's not there, he's like hanging out with them, i.e. Tronta. Okay, got it.
Yeah, let's just say in 2019, Peter's generation is the middle-aged generation.
Right.
There is a young generation of Jonas and his friends who go to school together.
Right.
And in 2019, there is an older generation of like old Helge.
There's also a young generation with Elizabeth and Yassine.
Very young generation.
Yeah,
yep,
right.
Exactly. Yep, so they exist. So middle-aged generation and there's an old generation.
Right.
And that shifts a little bit once we go to 1986,
right.
Where the young generation are young Ulrich,
right.
Young Katharina, young Hannah, everybody who is middle-aged are young, obviously. And a new old generation is introduced in 1986.
Right. So, and then that's where Burned Doppler.
Exactly. So that's where the Burned Doppler comes in, who obviously, like, now once you go back even further, he becomes the middle-aged generation.
Yeah.
Going
Can
back.
we put Burned? I just remember he was like the head honcho of the, what's it called? He was the manager of the power plant. Yeah. And I'm curious, I didn't know that Greta was his daughter. That's very interesting. I misspoke. Burned is Greta's husband. My bad. Is that correct? That's what it looks like.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, in the photo in the previous, they show him like old, and then they show Greta, which makes it look like. You see what I'm saying? Oh, I guess if we ever do see her old or not old, this is all you see in season 1. Is that correct? That's why we only see this picture, because this is the only viewing you have of season 1. I don't know if there's another viewing of her down the road, but okay, understood. Gotcha.
Yeah, this is slightly confusing because Bernd Doppler, he's the one who is trying to convince people to make the power plant and everything, is being very nice with Helge. Bernd lives with his wife Greta. It says clearly here.
Which is so weird, because this means that in episode 8 we saw this version of him, but why are they putting the older version of him in the thing? I don't know that.
I think they are, all of the picture that I've noticed there, they are like the oldest that we have seen them.
Oh, interesting. Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense.
Except Jonas.
Oh yeah, except Jonas. Actually, why is that? Because that would be...
Because this Jonas is the main character. We follow him everywhere we go. Putting his Stranger One is probably like, it decentralizes things. You know?
It's interesting though, because I feel like one helpful thing, and again, this website is insanely good, insanely well done. What would have been helpful is if you could have shown me the picture of them if we've seen them in past and present or whatever, a picture of them in each of the years that we've seen them. That would have been very helpful as well.
Yeah,
okay.
So like this. So this is where it shows all the versions. Like it just splits out like this in the website. So we only see 2 versions of them, obviously. Like there is no before
younger version of them.
Time period in season 1.
Right.
So yeah, I mean there is, like you mentioned, there is a slight confusion here because these 2 are a couple.
To be married. Yeah.
Exactly, but you are right. Like this makes sense in a way that it is mentioned in that episode, one of the episodes, that Helge may not be Bernd's son. He is born out of sin.
Oh, you're right. Born out of sin. That's why. Oh man, nice. Yeah. Totally forgot about that. Nice. Little nugget of information there.
Exactly.
Like yeah.
So that is why it just comes out of her instead of coming from somewhere in between.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, that's great.
That makes sense. And also, I think someone in the comments mentioned that it may not be that she cheated, but it was during the time of war. She was probably raped, out of which Helge was born.
Maybe that would also explain her like very mean behavior towards Helge, right? Because she could hate him. Maybe she like that's a symbol of that. So yeah, it makes sense. Because like she's very mean to Helge, but her husband, who I would assume they'd get married for some reason, I would feel like they'd be kind of similar. You know what I mean? In like, hey, I also am nice to children. I don't think you know what I mean. So yeah, that would make sense.
Exactly. I think also with Helge, something that is also very confusing to me. There is also a question mark probably right here. Yeah. Who was Peter's mom?
Yeah, very good question.
Or when did Helge even get married? Because it is not mentioned anywhere. Like, when did he get married? We see middle-aged Helge, we see old-aged Helge, and obviously the young Helge is not married. Yeah. Middle-aged, we don't see anyone there. And then there is Peter.
That's a good point. Middle-aged, he's just he's working as a janitor at
he still has a thing for Claudia. Yeah, he gives her a book, Journey Through Time, written by Tannhaus.
Interesting. Yeah, we've yet to find that out. Very interesting. And I guess we have no mention of it, so they don't have like an empty hit. Wow, this is so well thought out. I am so impressed. I'm supremely impressed. Wow.
So that is there. So that is the tree. Anyone you want to dive deeper into?
No, that sounds really good to me. Yeah, no, I love that we're just like remembering these little nuggets, because now after we watch more, when it comes up, we're like, that's who she cheated with or got raped by. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Let's go to the next one. Tiedemanns. Right. This is a big one. This is a big one.
Let's start at the bottom because we understand Bartos first. Right?
Yep.
So Bartos comes to the scene as Jonas's best friend, in school, who is hanging out with Martha. Obviously, Jonas was not happy that Bartos was trying to bang his aunt.
His aunt.
We learned that his parents are Alexander Tiedemann and Regina Tiedemann. Right. Alexander is the one who is managing the plant now. Yeah.
Alexander also. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead with it. What about?
I was just gonna say Alexander's the one with like a shady past, which we don't know a lot about. The first time we saw him, he was like, I think he was like hurt. Yeah. This is where we saw him, and we were like, wait, what the fuck? Yeah, and then he basically gets a secret task. Yeah, nice. Mm-hmm. Basically, see him with a gun. And he's like super sketched out, but he saves Regina, right? Mm-hmm. Saves Regina, who's like depressed from her mom because she's mean. And then basically he has a secret task when he first joins. He's like, I'll do whatever the fuck. I just need to basically escape my past, right? That's what it kind of seemed like, right?
You probably completely missed this part out of the show entirely because it doesn't come up very often like other things.
Okay.
So this happens, I think, in episode number 2, where we see someone is dragging some body somewhere, and here he is, Alexander, looking over the truck because the next day Ulrich is gonna come with a warrant to search the entire nuclear plant.
Right, he moves into the cave, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So in the past, we see that what was her name? Claudia gives him the secret task to bolt the door shut in that cave, where there are barrels. There is a door. Nobody wants to get to that particular place to see the barrels, so they close the door. Which later Ulrich finds that there is a door. It is completely shut in the future, like 33 years in the future.
Right.
So he comes with a warrant. And when someone is coming with a warrant, they will search through that cave and everything, and they'll probably find the barrels, and it's gonna leak out. So Alexander doesn't want that to happen, so he's taking care of all the barrels the night before. Ulrich comes and searches the entire property. This barrel contains all the nuclear waste, which is cesium-137 is the nuclear waste that they are trying to take care of. And the main reason why they are doing this is if somebody found out, they are gonna shut it down almost immediately, this whole place down.
Right.
Nobody wants that. In the past, in 1986, to hide this fact, I think Bernd Doppler says to Claudia when she's taking reins, he's like, you need to keep this as a secret, because if people find out, there's not going to be a power plant anymore. And to protect that waste, she hires Alexander, who comes to the town and shuts the door so that nobody has access to it, except from that one single hole in the sky. And they go in there, shut that door down. So Alexander knows about it as he is growing up in Winden, and that is why he was probably one of the most trusted person to handle all of this, because he learned about power plant ins and out of everything.
Right.
And so he is also trying to protect that particular secret in this episode before Ulrich comes in with army of officers. So loads all of that into a truck, sends it somewhere else. Because of that particular event, the stranger Jonas gets hands on cesium-137 particle that he's going to use to destroy the wormhole, which is practically when everything actually starts.
Interesting. Yeah. He's a pretty interesting character that we still don't know a lot about.
His past. We know a lot about his current situation.
Right. Very true. Yeah. Maybe we'll meet him sometime in, like, as a kid or something. That'd be cool.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Curious where. Okay, so we have Regina, which is depressed, and she's depressed. She's the owner of the hotel, right?
Yeah. The bank wants to repossess the hotel because he's late on the payments. So that is another small story thread that happens in the first episode, starting the first episode. Right. She is very much in favor of police not investigating all the disappearances, because she thinks they just ran away and there is nothing to worry about. There's no crime, because if they start investigating, that means less customer for a hotel and more problems to pay back the bank. Man.
They're definitely fucked. I mean, from the first season itself, there's like so many people missing. Oh shit. Yeah. Tiedemann Hotel.
Yeah, and then we later find out, to top of that, she has cancer, breast cancer as well. Yep. So she is dying because of that. In the past, we also see her being pretty neglected by Claudia, who is her mom. Seems like she has some kind of scars on her hands. I always took that as her attempted suicide or something. Yeah. She was also bullied heavily by Ulrich and Katharina.
Yeah.
Alexander protects that after he comes to town. He protects her, but until then, she's tied up to the tree and everything. She didn't have a very easy childhood.
Oh, it should be mentioned that she was not tied up to the tree because she was... So Hannah, when she saw Ulrich, she was like, all right, I'm jealous. I'm going to go report a rape. It wasn't even... Regina didn't even get tied up because of the rape, correct? Because
that's right.
Regina was blamed by Hannah, who Hannah just told Katerina... Wait, Katerina, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That, hey, I think Regina did it. Yeah.
Yeah, Hannah told Katerina possibly Regina did it.
Right.
The tying to the tree is a completely independent event from that whole incident, because she tells police in like November 7th or 8th, but she was tied up to the tree that summer, so a few months prior to that whole situation.
Right. Yeah, I just wanted to hammer home that, yeah, she really did get bullied for multiple reasons, and I think Katarina was gonna like beat her up, like beat the shit out of her. Actually, she was like fairly like aggressive, and then Alexander came in and like threatened him with a gun.
Exactly.
So that was pretty serious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Claudia.
And we have Claudia.
Yeah.
We see all three versions of her. In the first season, there is old Claudia with, looks like who is coming from the apocalypse time period.
Right, that we're just left off at. Right?
Yeah, and there is young Claudia who is friends with Tranta in the past. Exactly. She's managing the plant, took over from Bernd Doppler.
Yeah.
And she is Egon's and Doris's daughter. In the past, we find out Egon and Doris are a couple, and Doris, Agnes, which we saw from Nilsson's family, she comes and lives in their home.
Right.
Egon's
and as a kid.
Yep, exactly. She and Tranta come to the town, and they live together. And they have some kind of chemistry going on, I think, towards the season 10 or something.
Season 10?
Oh, season 1. Episode 10. Right.
Yeah.
That happens, and I think the main point of that entire thing, like, going into episode number 10, Stranger does his thing. He thinks that he's gonna change the past, which he doesn't. Creates the wormhole in the first place.
Yeah.
Because he thinks that he's destroying it, right. Which practically throws Jonas into the future. Yeah. That's where we end season 1. Jonas goes to 1952.
Yeah.
November of 1952. Helge, who was in 1953, completely beat up by Ulrich as a child, is in the...
Not even like beat up. He was like brutally attacked. Like... It was like
it was like attempted murder of Helge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So he gets sent back to 1986. So I had this question, like, why that happened? Why did Jonas go to from 1986 to 66 years in the future, while Helge traveled to 33 years into the past? Why isn't like it consistent? Both go to, same time period in the future or whatever.
That's a good point. This was done when the Stranger was trying to destroy the wormhole, correct? The wormhole.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it depends on us being told what actually happened when the Stranger tried to destroy the wormhole. What really happened? We understand from someone who's actually not on this family list, Noah, that Noah's like counting on that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
to create the hole entirely. Yep, that's right.
Oh, to create the wormhole?
Yeah, Noah knows that Stranger thinks that he's gonna destroy it. Noah knows that he's the actually one who will open the wormhole when he tries to destroy it.
You mean open the wormhole to the future? Like the future, 19 or 2053, 2052 or whatever.
He's the one who actually created that entire cycle in there. Like, if he didn't do that, then that whole cycle, the cave tunnel and all of that, nothing of that.
Oh, it's like a part of history that he's like, in order to, just like what we have with everything.
Yep.
In order to create it, you had to have done something. Oh, fuck! I did not realize that. Okay, understood.
Yeah, so if he hadn't done it, then none of these things would even happen.
Oh, nice. Okay. Which is indicative. It's fairly indicative of the whole show. Thus far. Okay, interesting. Okay. The quick thing I want to do here is, can we zoom out? Is there like no Noah here?
There is no Noah in this picture,
which makes total sense. But I'm surprised they didn't at least add him somewhere.
Yeah, it's a family tree, man. Noah does not have a family.
Right. Noah's not here because Noah doesn't have a family. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, this is the only character that we have for the entirety of season 1. That's it.
Dang, nice. When you put it like this, you're like, oh, okay, hey, this isn't that bad. But damn, yeah, that's a lot.
it's just the faces might be difficult to put the face into the name.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like if you are watching an episode and you see this guy, you're like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah. It's actually funny. Oh my gosh. Between Claudia and Regina, I get confused so hard. That's probably like, if you had to rate the confusion, like the points of, or like which nodes and which connections I feel the most confusion in, the connection between this family, especially between Regina and Claudia, I have so much confusion because I get confused, like younger, older version, newer version, older version, where in time, fuck. Yeah, so it happens quite a bit.
Yeah, the only way that I can possibly make that connection a lot more easily, you have to think Regina, Ulrich, Katharina, they are colleagues. They go to same school. They are the younger generation in 1986.
Charlotte is as well, right?
Do we see Charlotte in 1986?
Oh, yeah, I guess we don't, actually.
Never mind. We actually do see Charlotte.
Wait, why don't you just click on Claudia? Or why don't you just click on Charlotte? Then we can see her. Yeah. Yeah, so we see her as a young person, and then...
Yeah,
we see her, like, collecting birds as a kid. Yep. Yeah, this one. I remember this.
Yeah,
and then
so she's in the same school as Ulrich and everyone.
Yeah, I think I really just need to memorize... I just need to always memorize the face and the time versions of Regina and Claudia. Those two fuck me up every time. So, yeah. I gotta remember that. But fair enough. And then, for some reason, whenever I think of Peter and Tranta, I'm like, wait, why are Peter and Tranta involved again? But I got it now. But yeah, that's fair. Dang, I wonder how it's going to look like in season 3. Is it just going to be like, just this giant fucking huge
thing? We do know, like, they'll probably start forming other trees. We haven't seen the tree of Noah, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
Since Dark really dives deeper into every character, most likely we'll see Noah's tree at some point, which is most likely missing here. Tannhaus exists. What other character that we have seen that does not belong in this? Oh, we also don't see the tree for Eric and so on, so that probably is not that relevant. But we do see
Eric,
his parents and everything.
Nice. This was very helpful for me. Yeah, this is good. Solid.
So, season 1 recap. We're good.
Yep, we're good.
Awesome. Do you wanna add anything, or do you wanna?
No, conclude? That's good. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad we kind of. I mean, this website's insane. It's so good, so well thought out.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I have this to look back at, and just to highlight this family tree is excellent. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I wonder how they plan all this. Yeah, whatever. But anyways, yeah.
Awesome. So, really appreciate watching that and going with that tree with us. It's obviously gets more and more complicated as we watch other episode. I think there are lots of things that we need to catch up on in this family tree in season 2, episode 1, 2, and 3 that we have already watched. So we'll try to go over them as well. As soon as possible before we get more confused. But yeah, guys, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you guys in our next video. If you like that, give that like button a click, subscribe. So yeah, see ya.
Thanks, guys.